Welcome to the second official Creative Mornings. Hopefully this is recording. I'm trying out some new tech, so we'll see. Yes, thank you all for being here. Thank you for bringing some new faces, seeing some new faces. It was wonderful getting to chat with you all. These are going to be once a month. Hopefully I'll try to give you guys better notice. I was out hiking the Appalachian Trail when I had to schedule this one, so that was fun.
That's awesome.
Next time we have it, I'll give you a heads up and bring a friend. That's how I heard about Creative Mornings. That's how probably most of you heard about Creative Mornings, and it's a wonderful place to meet new people. I'm an animator. I live here. Didn't go to SCAD, just kind of showed up. I work for a company up in North Carolina. I do all kinds of different stuff, including Creative Mornings. We have some volunteers, and I got Oren's name in there this time around. Noah is out of town, but he's normally a photographer, and then Oren is our supervisor, getting things running. If any of you would like to volunteer or know anybody else that would like to volunteer, you can reach out to this email or the Instagram account or the Facebook account, or not the Twitter because nobody likes Twitter. And we can hook you up with something. We need people finding venues, we need people finding speakers, we need people running social media, we need people taking video, we need all kinds of things. So if anyone is interested in helping, let me know. Creative Mornings is all free. Anything that you guys would like to donate is just going to go back into this, from getting equipment to potentially getting spaces later on. So any donations would be helpful. You can either scan this or on the check-in one. There's one over there as well. Field trips. Creative Mornings Online has a bunch of virtual field trips all across the globe. A bunch of different studios and stuff open up online to kind of talk about different workshops and different lecture series. You can go to creativemornings.com/field trips to see some of their upcoming ones. They're basically every day, so you can check those out. Creative Mornings is a global organization. There's 238 chapters in over 69 countries. You know, yada, yada, yada. There's a lot. It's big. And we're adding to these numbers every day. So I think we are the most recent new chapter. So congratulations to you all for being part of something new, not only for Creative Mornings as a global organization, but also here in Savannah. That's crazy. Creative Mornings has a manifesto. This is something they try to live by to be welcoming to everybody. The kind of core of it is everyone is creative, everyone is welcome. But there's a whole lot more that goes into that. Everyone is creative. A creative life requires bravery and action, honesty and hard work. We are here to support you, celebrate you, and encourage you to make the things that you love. We believe in the power of community. We believe in giving a damn. We believe in face-to-face connections and learning from others, and hugs and high fives. If any of you didn't get one, come to me afterwards and I'll give you either. Up to you. We'll bring together people who are driven by passion and purpose, confident that they will inspire one another and inspire change in their neighborhoods and cities around the world. Everyone is welcome. So this is kind of the main core, and then the two little things that we try to do every day. This month's theme is ritual. It was chosen by, I think, the North Carolina chapter. I don't remember off the top of my head. But if you go on Instagram or on Facebook, there's more information, both about the illustrator, Matt Smithson, as well as who chose what chapter chose the theme. Every year, they pick, I think, chapters at random or who haven't gone the previous year, and then they decide on themes for the whole year. So they're already coming up with the ones for next year, which is crazy. Today's speaker is Jamie Jones. My dad, your dad, Jamie Jones. He does wonderful things, not only in the community, but as an artist and as a storyteller. So please join me in welcoming Jamie Jones for this month's event.
So my Instagram.
Oh yeah, I didn't change
Miller.
that. Oh, whatever.
Hi, I'm Jamie. I'm a cartoonist by trade. That if you don't know what cartoonists are, there's a lot of cartooning people here, so it's kind of that part is null and void. Cartoonists, by definition, is someone who writes and draws their own material. That is what it is. A little bit about me, a little bit about my process. I have bricklayer mentality, which means when I write, I get I feel like I've done nothing. I like having the stack of paper get bigger and bigger. Let's see what else I wrote here. Yeah. Now, here's the caveat. Every time I talk, every time I give a panel, every time I'm on a podcast, one of you inevitably will be like, does this guy like his job? I do. I end up talking about things very clinically and very matter-of-factly. That is just blanket statement caveat. Let's get into this thing. These are my comics. So for the past, this year, I've been doing a daily comic strip. So every day, wake up, draw, do things. I just put out a magazine. My first issue, second issue is coming out in October, I think. Hopefully, fingers crossed, waiting for guest art. But Spacow, Baboon, I make primarily kids comics, or comics made for all ages. I got really disillusioned in 5 years ago with the state of like Batman being depressed all the time. And I was like, that's not for kids anymore. So I made kids comics. I have one line. This is the actual talk. I have one line. This is it. It is this. It is a push. I never pull, only ever push. It is breathe, push, breathe. I use silver black velvet brushes, a number 4 and a number 2. They are Squirrel synthetic hair blend. Sable, a few years ago, sable brushes were banned. Sable hair was banned for making brushes. That's kind of the standard, typical brush thing is a sable hair brush. They were banned, went to the art store, they were trying to hawk brushes that weren't made out of sable, picked up one of these. I've been using the same brush every day for the last 8 years. That's what my whole practice is built around, is this brush, that line. This is my inkwell. It doesn't close all the way. What that does is, overnight, the water evaporates and it gets thicker. The ink gets thicker, it's a little more consistency. Dipping the brush in the thicker ink, the ink is pulling out of the brush and not just falling out of the bristles. If you use a looser ink or a newer ink, sometimes that's the case. Great for pens, not great for brushes. Before I go to bed, I put ink in this thing every night before I go to bed. So when I wake up, ink is good. I use toothy Bristol paper, a vellum Bristol paper. Don't like smooth. I don't want the ink to sit on top of it. The tooth of the brush, the tooth of the paper with the brush and the thick ink combine to be one thing that I know specifically when I get to work, this is how this is going to work, this is what this is going to be. These are the tools, those are the tools I have built my entire practice around. I'm gonna say practice like 20,000 times. Ritual. This is what today, this morning, we're talking about. This is where everyone's gonna be like, oh, does this guy like himself? And the manufacturing of creative mindset. Manufacturing, that's where everyone's gonna be like, this guy hates himself. This is, when you sit down to work, typically, I don't know how anyone else feels, this is a thing that happens to me all the time. I'm ready to work, I want to work, everything's great. You sit down, nothing comes out. It's worse than writer's block. It's constipation. It's really painful. You want to do things, you want to make something, but nothing's coming out. There is different things come out of your mind. I know for me, I sit in a room and just think all day. So it's, you get kind of in your head about stuff. What am I gonna have for lunch? What am I gonna have for dinner? Do I have to see friends tonight? Do my friends even like me? These are the things that grow while you're sitting there at 8 o'clock in the morning trying to draw. These are all. The War of Art is a great book. These are all resistance. Stephen Pressfield calls it the enemy. Resistance is the enemy. How do you get over resistance? Anything that takes you away from doing the work is resistance. So how do you combat resistance? We can just go to a blank page. For me, it's giving meaning in the objects that I work in or work with, and a space that sparks creativity. Doing the same thing every day, getting me into the mindset of actually creating. If I don't make something in any given day, I don't get any money, right? It is my job. And then fans get mad because they're like, oh, well, we expect something every day, and then you don't put something out. And now we have to deal with algorithms, and algorithms suck. So that's the thing. It's just consistency, putting something out. A lot of times, a lot of days, I don't feel like doing things. How do I manufacture or manifest? He uses manifest a lot in The War of Art. How do I manifest the creative spark? Oh, there's a great book called Daily Rituals. This is what the cover looks like. How artists work. It's awesome. It's like a series of really short essays about different artists' workflow, what they do during a day. I figured the easiest way to talk about ritual is to go through my daily ritual, and I wrote it down. This is based off of what Ben Franklin's looks like, because it's in the book, and I was like, I need a visual. Let me Ben Franklin this up. Jamie's schedule. Morning. What I like about Ben Franklin's schedule is it's not really broken down. It's like morning, 7 to 11. Do this stuff in that time. Wake up. That's the first thing you have to do in the morning. The second thing I do in the morning is make a cup of coffee. I timed it yesterday. It takes me 7 to 8 minutes to make a cup of coffee, actively. This is the big thing. I don't have a coffee pot. I don't use a Keurig. These things are passive, and I think that doesn't help you to get into a space. So I use a mocha pot and grind my beans, and it takes a full 8 minutes to make a cup of coffee, be done, clean up, and then I go sit outside and read for 20 to 30 minutes every day. I don't care if I'm really excited to get to work. That is what the ritual does, what the schedule does, is continues and keeps that rhythm. If I'm not excited, do the thing. If I'm excited, do the thing. It gets you out of your own way. It gets you out of burnout. It gets you out of the feeling that you're not doing anything, which is often what I feel like. Read 20 or 30 minutes. Make a second cup of coffee. One cup doesn't do it for me anymore. Hasn't done it for me in a long time. So make a second cup of coffee. That's another 8 minutes. So by the time I'm actually ready to work, it's been an hour and a half. I wake up, take the time, make the coffee, read, make another cup of coffee, bring that to my desk, which is in my living room, open up all the windows. I open all the windows and I close all the windows every night. Make sure you close them. Every morning, make sure I open them. Hayao Miyazaki does that in one of the documentaries about Hayao Miyazaki. He goes around, he wakes up, he gets to the studio, and he opens every window in the studio, and then he closes every window. He's like the first one in, the last one out. And that's part of mentally waking up and shutting down for the space. Sit at my desk. This is, I will sit at my desk from, this says 10 to 1 working. I work in very specific increments. I do an 80-20 split. I'm 80 minutes on, 20 minutes off. Very important. 80 minutes is enough for you to get in the quote-unquote zone. 20 minutes is not long enough for you to get out of that quote-unquote zone. So what the 20 minutes off does is avoids burnout. A lot of times I talk to people and they're like, how do you continuously do something constantly without getting burnt out? The trick is to just not get burnt out. The trick is do something for not long enough so you want to get back to doing it. That's the trick, right? It's all mind games. 20 minutes off is great. You can do so much in 20 minutes. You can eat, you can play video games, you can read, you can close your eyes for 5 minutes and not feel like you've wasted your entire 20-minute break. So I'll do that until about 1 o'clock. Then I eat break. It says an hour, it's never an hour. It's like 20 minutes. It's just another 20-minute break. But after I eat, I will take a nap. Also very important. A nap during the middle of the day is fantastic. Not a long nap. This is also very important. Regimented naps that are only ever 30 minutes. I do not take my clothes off when I take a nap.
Good to know.
I do not get in the bed. I will go and lay on the bed, but I will lay like this for 30 minutes.
No blanket?
No blanket. No, see, that's the thing. Don't get comfy. Don't get like super, super comfy. This is not sleep. This is recharge. It's active rest. It's active rest. It's part of the practice of doing something. In yoga, right, the end of it is, what is it called? Somebody knows. Yeah, great, thank you. It's active rest, right? You're doing something, you've done your thing for the entire, you've done your practice, you've done your yoga. Time to rest, time to let the body relax and sit. This is like recovery mode. I've worked for 4 or 5 hours. Recover from your workout, recover from your practice, and then you can go and do more work. Instead of working 8 to 10 hours straight, working 5 hours, nap, recover, recharge, back to work, you're in a constant state of play. You're in a constant state of creativity instead of ever getting out of it. Nap in the evening. I will work. Again, 80 minutes on, 20 minutes off. That is the thing. Then I have work goes from 5 to 9, but also relationships and other obligations go from 7 to 11 to sometimes 12. There's depending, last night it went to 1. That's how that goes. This being squishy is a really nice thing. I have been, because this is so regimented, having squishiness in relationships and obligations is nice. I always, Wednesdays, first and third Wednesdays of every month, I host a drink and draw at White Whale Craft Ales. That is a big, that's a 6 to 9, that's actually like a 5 to 9 obligation every other Wednesday. But I am always there and I'm doing the thing. So that's, I consider that part of work. The only part of work that I don't get the 20 minutes off from. It's just like, that becomes obligations. Great, and then it's sleep. Sleep is important. Let's see if I have any other notes on any of this. I feel like I have not talked nearly as long as I needed to.
Just more time for Q&A.
Yes. Art is a practice. This is a thing. Tibetan monks spend months and months and months making mandalas. That is part of that is artistic, but that is also their prayer. That is their church, right? Doing something, going in, blowing dust, blowing sand particles through a straw, very slowly, very methodically. Do I have another thing? I don't. Great, we're going back. Yes, okay. That's what doing comic books is like. That is what drawing is like. Doing something this every day, countless times a day, every single day. There is nothing more. This is my life. If I didn't go into that mindset having a certain set practice, I would get nothing done. So I'll leave you with this. Imbue your tools with a sense of purpose. The things that you have, the tools that you use, mean something. I do not ascribe to the idea that it's not the tool, it's the artist. I think those two things work in tandem. I think that's actually detrimental to talk about because it gets out of the way of what the tool actually is and how the artist creates with that tool. If I pick up a pen, it's a very different feeling, it's a very different emotion that is transferred through the paper than if I have my brush. Work in different sketchbooks for different projects. That's huge. Building creative space in ritualizing and creating creative space in objects is great. I have 2 sketchbooks there. They're both almost full, and I've been using them constantly. One is for the magazine, one is for my daily strips. When I go out and go to a coffee shop, knowing which thing I'm working on because it's already in a book is fantastic. I don't have to get the choices is made. The choice is made on what I'm working on. Making a series of choices beforehand to create, to get out of the way of being things. Oh, right. Art is a practice. You don't finish a piece of art and go, I'm done, I'm never doing this again. You do another thing. You make more art. Everything is supporting the thing that you did beforehand. That's my talk. That was very fast. It was like 3 minutes. Oh, yeah, this is me. Thanks, Luke. So I do a daily comic strip on Substack. If you're not familiar with Substack, it's great. It is just a newsletter, but it subscribes comic books in your mailbox, email box every day, except for Saturdays and Sundays, because I'm not that crazy. Art of Jamie Jones is my Instagram and everything else. Put gmail.com on the end of that, and that's my email. So yeah, this is it. This is the Baboon. It's a pulp action adventure comic. It's fun times.
Where can people find your printed stuff?
Neighborhood comics. Yes. So various shops around. Neighborhood Comics holds it. E. Shavers has my stuff too, but then also online. Bowtie Press. Big Cartel, Art of Jamie Jones at Big Cartel is my Big Cartel site. Bowtie.press is my website that has all of this information. Yeah, that's it.
All right,
That's all I got. Do you have questions?
Yeah, questions. If anyone's got some for Jamie.
Anthony.
Did that say you only eat once a day?
Yeah, no breakfast, no dinner.
Oh.
Also squishy.
Relationships and obligations. Eat dinner. I typically skip breakfast, which is not great, unless I'm really hungry. This is it's so squishy. We talked about it. Yes. Take vitamins. What do you want? What more do you want? It's there. This is just a prescribed, I know I have to eat.
Do you have like a warm-up ritual that you do as well when you get to your desk?
No, I don't.
I'm so excited about that.
No, I do. No, that's a great question. No, what I like about 80 minutes on, 20 minutes off is my secret is I'm always angry. No, I'm always warm, right? I just don't get out of the mode. I will not ink certain parts of the page for my dexterity, but it's like, if I'm inking and I'm doing that work, filling in blacks, it's a really great way to get the hand right back to what it is. Also, brushes are finicky, so sometimes dipping the brush, you have to run it a couple times, dip it again, run it a couple times. I guess that's a warm up, but it doesn't feel like it. But I don't free draw. This is a thing. I keep sketchbooks. Everything that's in a sketchbook for me is for production. There is no point. I don't draw for fun anymore, which sounds horrible. My job is very fun. This is why I said I was gonna sound like I hate my job. This came. Yeah, everything is for production. Everything is for a purpose outside of just doodling. I draw hobos with cigars all the time in sketchbooks. That's my fun drawing, but they are like really quick.
Sticking with your sketchbooks, do you have rituals associated with them? Do you work sequentially? Do you jump around?
Rituals in only that I am very non-precious with them. That's my, like, on the back of that particular sketchbook, it says I'm at a panel because I didn't have a piece of paper. I was at a convention, didn't have a piece of paper, just picked up my sketchbook and wrote, I'm at a panel downstairs, go see you, go see me. They're workhorses, right? I try not to be precious. The paper comes out very easily. One of those books is falling apart. They are non-precious items. I show them a lot of reverence, but in that reverence, they do their job. They get what needs to happen, which is comics. The finished art is the thing. Yes?
What happens when you break your ritual?
You don't see me for 3 weeks. I go missing. I just leave town.
You break your ritual, but when you break it, how do you manage to get back in it without feeling like, I guess, a sense of undiscipline?
You just feel undisciplined. You sit in it, and you're just unhappy with yourself because you broke a ritual. It stinks, but that's why you have the schedule. That's why you have the ritual, because when you are out of it, you get into it again. I've gone through bouts of not drawing because I'm in writing mode and I've just been writing. Getting back into drawing mode is really difficult. Getting back and like sitting down at your desk and doing this thing, especially if you're writing out and about, because sometimes I'll go get a coffee and I'll write in the coffee shop for hours, and I'll do that the next day and the next day and the next day. 2 weeks goes by and you're like, oh crap, I actually gotta draw. The manual labor comes in, which is drawing, and this is the only way I'm able to get back in, right? Knowing what I'm doing in the morning, having that set schedule, getting excited. The other thing is always leaving work to be done tomorrow. That should be here. Knowing what I'm doing tomorrow is always a part of the practice. Like filling up the inkwell at the end of the night, that's part of it. I talk to a lot of students, and one of the questions I get asked is about burnout and how do you avoid burnout. I touched on that a little bit.